Hello and welcome to Wednesdays with Willa. I am your host, Willa White, and this is my weekly podcast show that airs on Wednesday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern on my Facebook page, Willa White Medium. This is an opportunity for us to showcase some very special things, usually having to do with spiritualism and history and all of those great things. And I encourage you to look back at the archive videos of Wednesdays with Willa on my Facebook page, Willa White Medium. This is year 7 of my podcast show, so you have plenty of shows you can look back and enjoy. And I feature a lot of things associated with Lilydale and the surrounding community. And today we are going to feature a very special location in Cassadaga that's very close to Lilydale and has special Lilydale ties. And this is the Red House. We're going to take a special access tour of this location. And I have with me today the local host and caretaker of this beautiful gem. This is Nancy Wickmark. Thank you for being on the show today, Nancy.
Good morning. Thank you, Willa.
Nancy Wickmark has been on the show before. We've featured the Cassadaga Nature Park. And Nancy, you are very involved with this local community and doing such wonderful work.
I'm actually the steward of that park, so definitely go back into her history and go look at that one because it's a good introduction to this really nice feature we have in Cassadaga.
Yeah, especially if you enjoy the woods and there are some hiking trails there. But Nancy stays very busy with the Cassadaga Lakes Association and other volunteer commitments. And as I said, she is the caretaker of a very special building that we're going to showcase for you today. And this is the Red House. So how about I turn this around and show them all this beautiful location real quickly here. So we are here at the Red House. And it is gorgeous. Just gorgeous.
Some of you might know this is the Denny house or the Carpenter's house because the Carpenters, Al Carpenter was one of the teachers at our high school for a long time, so lots of people have been in this house as students. But we call it the Red House, the retreat event destination, and it's the Red House for youth because we wanted it to be a place that we could support some of the local youth programs with some of the income that came in from utilizing this venue as a wedding venue. So if you zip back again,
yes,
Willa, to the manor, what I'll do is take you on a tour from ground level all the way up to the cupola, yes, and share with you some of the architectural features as well as some of the stories and lures about this particular building, and we can experience it together. This architecture is a very special one. It's the Second Empire French architecture, and it has mansard roofing. You can see that's where you would see the 2 levels and then the steep roofs coming down, the flat areas and then the sharp level. We had to do a lot of restoration of the roofing and a lot of the decorative molding. It was probably about 6 years ago or so, and it was beautifully restored. Its age was really starting to catch up with it, and it needed some restoration. We also just, while we're out here looking at the exterior, we just rebuilt the porches, this porch and the back porch. And the person that we worked with did a really good job of trying to keep the design and the style as close to original as he could. So now it's nice and solid. And we had a local person, actually, our manager that we have working with us here, did all the spindles. She did the spindles for us.
Very nice.
Okay, so if we're ready, let's go
I think
on
we're
in.
ready.
We'll
Let's show them this beautiful.
It's a little crunchy. You haven't raked the leaves because people like the leaves on the ground.
Yeah, it's autumn, so if you hear this crunch, it's like autumn sound therapy.
Here's a fall crocus.
Oh my goodness. Lovely. We're going to follow Nancy up these stairs to this gracious.
Okay, so the front entry is really beautiful with these wonderfully big doors.
Nice. And then you can see there's a porch here that has a porch swing. And here we are following Nancy into the house.
The first thing you'll probably notice is the high ceilings. We have had Cub Scout, Boy Scout troops here to see the building, and all those little boys just stand at these doors and look up and are in total amazement. The design that's around the ceiling is called dental work, and that's one of the highlight features of this age of home. Mm-hmm. I'm going to take you into each one of the rooms, and then we'll zip upstairs and go on to the other 3 levels that are above the
Lovely.
first floor. So this is what we call the parlor, and it has 1 of 7 of the fireplaces in the house, because that's how they would keep heat when it was originally built. It was originally built sometime in the 1860s. They're not exactly sure on the records of when it was completed. It's kind of tough sometimes to get a hold of that information. But we do have a lot of information that was left for us by the prior owner. And so we have it available for all of our guests to come and peruse through in a notebook, all the articles and things that have been written about it over the years. We have some great pictures of the original house and the original barn. The barn that is currently there was built around 1910. This original barn burned down. What I like is that it used to have a circular driveway, and here are some of the trees that are still standing on the property.
Wonderful.
While I'm here, this is a spike, a wooden spike that is part of the construction of the barn. So when we go into the barn, you'll see that the beams in many places are adhered together with wooden spikes.
Neat.
We're on the cover of 2 books about this type of architecture, the 19th century houses in Western New York. And because it is such a beautiful and well-preserved example of this Second Empire French design, it was selected as a cover featured item. And then the other book, right here, Stockton, Seen Through the Rear View Mirror. We're also on the cover of this book, and there's feature information in these books. It's always kind of fun. It has been a private family home through almost all of its existence. There were a couple of times when it was something other than what our use is, as primarily a wedding venue. Mm-hmm. But at one point it was part of a solarium. And here's I don't know if you can catch this, Willa, but we're so lucky to have all this information that's been collected about the house. The Lilydale Sanitarium. And here's some of the people that were residents at that time.
And that was more of a spa retreat kind of place at that point?
I believe so. I believe that's true.
A restorative location.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you can tell the years that this was done because you'll see that the exterior porch is very similar to how it is today. But this page right next to it, the porch had the opening come out on the south side of the building. So at some point there was a restoration and they brought the porch out to here. And see, this whole little roof area was kind of connected together. So it's had some architectural changes over the years. It was believed to be a part of the Underground Railroad. If you read through a lot of this information, there's a lot of references to a hiding place that was up underneath the stairs that goes to the cupola, and also a tunnel in the basement that went out down to the lake and the railroad tracks that are down there. But obviously that's very hard to determine if that's factual or not. Some people say because it was built possibly in the later 1860s, it would have been after the Emancipation Proclamation. But in reality, there were still slaves that were being persecuted and still fleeing from the South and headed to the North after the Emancipation Proclamation. Mm-hmm. So obviously there's no record of that. They didn't keep records. The Denny family is the farming family that built this home. Mm-hmm. And the brother of Alonzo Denny, who built this, has a home very similar in age in Sheridan, mm-hmm. and that definitely was a part of the Underground Railroad. Mm-hmm. So it would have been, there would have been a strong connection through there.
I read a newspaper article that was featuring this location, the Denny House, mm-hmm. as a place for the Underground Railroad, that they would come up through Stockton and that this was a place on their way to Fredonia mm-hmm. and farther north. Mm-hmm. And I guess the reason they can say that there's a possibility is that someone was caught. And
someone was caught?
Yeah,
you read something?
I had read that. I'll have to share that article with you later.
Do? Yeah, yes. Because I haven't seen anything.
So I was like,
and that's what's fun
the story, or at least share the story afterward.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then maybe we could do some more research
from
there. Yeah, that's what's fun about having this available, because we are a business now that so mm-hmm. many people can come through and share their stories.
Yes.
And I will share another story that we just learned a couple of years ago about a really fun historic component to the house that we just recently learned because someone came through.
Very cool.
Oh, 2 of them. Okay, I think that's about it as far as our information. I mean, this is just absolutely a beautiful room. You see the wonderful wood floor design. Mm-hmm. This was all green shag carpet when we took possession.
Green shag
carpet.
So
we waited a couple years before we took the green shag carpet off because we weren't sure what we were going to find underneath.
Oh, right.
One day I just kind of got
And these are original to the house?
Yes, that's our original lighting, mm-hmm. which is also very fun as you go through. So many features are original. And then the beautiful work on the fireplaces. Mm-hmm. And you'll see that the ones downstairs are fancier, and as you go upstairs, they get a little more simple. We don't do any fires in the fireplaces. We don't quite trust.
Right.
Yeah.
How gorgeous.
It's just beautiful.
Mm-hmm. I love it. And then there's this very sweet couch.
Yeah, so we try to, well, what's kind of fun is a lot of times people don't have homes for this style of furniture, so they say, oh, I have this beautiful piece and it needs a home, do you want to take it? So we do have several pieces that people have had in their family over the years, and it just doesn't fit their style anymore. So we've tried to do the furnishings as close as we could as kind of older period. Mm-hmm. But mm-hmm. I will admit I haven't done research on all of them and been really true to say, oh, nope, this was too old or too new. And each one of our rooms, because we do Airbnb and then we do the wedding couples are in the manor to get ready. We have a little fun facts in each room, and then nice to know features. There are a lot of quirks throughout the house, so I figured that if I put the quirk right at the source,
and I'm noting this, and it says this is believed to be the ceremonial room for the Masons.
Oh, yes, I'll catch up with you on
yes,
that.
Okay, good.
And here's one of the features I really like is the push button lights, and then if you look at the stairway in the corners, there are those little corner pieces that are still there, which helps so that all the dirt doesn't.
That's right. You don't have to clean a corner. That's awesome.
This banister going upstairs, I actually helped refinish it when I was in high school because the carpenters would hire us students to come and help, and so I helped with refinishing.
So you have quite a history with the house already yourself.
Mm-hmm. So now we're going into the main living room. Once again, the beautiful wood floors that was under green shade carpet, and a much more ornate fireplace. It also has this wonderful, wonderful ceiling with the original lighting.
I'm trying to go as slow as I can to savor this. Wow.
I've been told that the plaster work around the ceilings was a horsehair composition, something that, you know, is not able to be replicated. The floor to ceiling windows are just so beautiful, and then let in just wonderful light. And the bay window that is there has beautiful trees out, and you can see into the grounds.
I'm just letting them savor the room. We don't want to go too quickly through this gorgeous space. Oh.
That tree just outside the window with the red leaves is a dogwood, a white dogwood. So in the early spring, it's really stunning.
What a sweet... Oh, but this is a beautiful sunny spot.
Don't look too closely at my poor little ferns. I don't necessarily have a green thumb. I try real hard, but...
Gorgeous. Just gorgeous. And then look at this in the doorway, this arch of a window.
That's what they call a transom window.
Okay.
Any window over the doors is a transom.
Transom window. Just beautiful.
Okay.
And I just have a quick question. Is this where they filmed at one point the Spirit Rooms of Lilydale documentary?
Yes, it is.
So for those of you who are interested
we had so much fun.
in women's suffrage history, and also Lilydale, and the documentary that was done, I don't know how many years ago now.
I think probably maybe 4 or 5 years.
4 or 5 years ago. And sometimes they're viewing features of and I do remember the space was probably used for that documentary.
A little bit, I can't remember. The scene was almost like a seance. When they were sitting around the table and they had a guest speaker, I remember. I was a little busy doing things like darkening windows.
And doing your best to help.
Also, the parlor was one of the conversations, I think, with Mae West.
Yes.
And so was this couch, one of the conversations with her
Mae
doctor.
West. Yeah.
No,
with her doctor. Jack Kelly, I think I want to say. Jack Kelly, yeah.
Yeah, it was a great experience.
Just so you can see, there are little cherubs on this fireplace. I just have to show you how beautiful and special that is. All the ornate work.
The wallpaper is very fitting, but I know that it wasn't original. It was just a nice choice, probably done, I don't know, in the early 1900s, I would imagine. Now this beautiful little room is the dining room. Another one of the fireplaces. You can see it's much simpler than the 2 living rooms. The door goes out onto a very cute little porch that also got a little facelift this year. And it's a wonderful place to sit out there and enjoy the grounds. Typically when we do have wedding couples here, they would kind of line up for their procession out on the grounds and go through these doors down the porch and then out on the grounds to have their weddings, which is really very beautiful. One of the things that I said, a lot of people just kind of give you things because they don't know what to do with it. All of that china in the china cabinet was a collection of one of our local elderlies, and when she passed away, her family said, well, what do we do with all of this? We said, well, we'll put it in a display, so that built-in cabinet was just kind of perfect for that. But see, there's a lot there.
There is a lot there.
Floor to ceiling.
My goodness. And look at this sweet rocking chair, too. And of course, you got to have blue willow ware.
Oh yes, blue willow ware.
You got to have that. Lovely.
I'm going to show you the kitchen as we head out when we go to the barn. So I'm going to circle around to our historical room that we just learned the stories of. You'll see, just so that you're oriented, I know we just did a little circle. There's the front doors and the stairway upstairs. So now we're going into this bathroom. The bathroom was obviously set up in probably the 20s time frame. And if you come on in and turn the camera around, you'll see the Mason symbol up above the door.
Oh, let's go around. Hope I'm not making anybody dizzy. Oh my goodness, it's in the bathroom.
That's the Mason symbol. And on the other side of the door out in the hall is the older original symbol of the Masons. This room had a drop-down ceiling in it, and when we didn't take that off for a while too, because we thought we'd find plumbing and wiring and things under there, but when we took it down, this is what we found. It was really good shape.
So you were glad you took it down?
We're glad we took it down. So what we learned just years ago from the father of one of the brides is that this is what they called in the Mason organization a reflection room. And that is part of their ceremony. If someone is a new inductee, they are blindfolded and taken into a dark room, a reflection room, and they're supposed to reflect, do they really want to be a Mason or not? And these ceremonies were done in individual people's homes up until the point where they started building Mason lodges. So this is one that the person that we were talking to said that he felt that the Dunkirk branch of the Masons was not aware that it was in this house. They thought that they had known where they all were, so it was kind of a nice discovery.
Yes.
And when I won't show it because we don't have tons of time, but I used to always try to figure if this was obviously a room for the Masons, so I thought maybe that this was a converted door for the Masons to come in, because they used to have a secret door. But the outside to me looked just like the windows. So we had actually a person from Lilydale, a local from Lilydale, came over and went through the house with me, and she says, no, I remember when there were stairs out here that she had actually come in, and she said, if we go out, we're going to see that the bricks are cut, because it was a stairway and a door at one time, so that's evidence that that used to be a door. And also the way the footing is the same as the footing to the door that goes in the kitchen. There's always some kind of a little secret discovery that goes on here.
Oh my goodness, so neat.
So now I'll take you upstairs.
All right.
You can turn if you want to quick and show them that guy up there. It's a little dark.
Can y'all see that? All right. And now we're going to follow Nancy upstairs. We're loving this tour, Nancy. Thank you.
I'll first take you around to the front couple of bedrooms. The floors were also green shade carpet. And if you look really close, there's still a little bit here and there.
Oh, well, yeah, we got to feature that. The good old days of shag carpeting.
Yep. So this is the fancier front end with, once again, the transom windows. This is the master bedroom. And the fun feature in here are the windows and the window sills. This is underneath those mansard roofing. And that's why you get this nice angle of the windows.
Beautiful windows. Really lovely. All right. And here's some more little fun facts, like she said, next to those.
This area, this nice wide halls, is also a feature of this age of building. These big windows that open up and have screens behind them are really nice in the nice fall and summer, spring to let in fresh air. And then this circular feature is really a beautiful little appointment.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll see up on this floor, we don't have the same dental work around the ceiling as we have downstairs. This is another bedroom. The master bedroom and this bedroom are the rooms that the bride and the bridesmaids usually take over. And it has a fireplace. This is the one fireplace that's on the second floor.
And look at these sweet old pieces of furniture.
I just recently got those. I'm not sure this is the right room for them. They might move around, but for now, this is where they are.
In terms of color, yeah. Because it's purple.
I always love these little lamps too.
Oh, yes, yes.
I'll show you a fun little, when I was talking about quirks.
Mm-hmm.
This is how you do well, if you look at the light, it's a dimmer.
Oh, you have to keep switching off. And it says that this originally been one room that included the laundry room.
Yep, the laundry room is here. That's kind of just my guess. I saw some pictures of one of the prior owners sitting like almost in where these chairs are now, because you could see the fireplace, and it seemed more like a study. But this wall, you'll see, is very thin. And most of the other walls are very fat because they're brick walls all the way up. Mm-hmm. And the two windows are equal distance from the fireplace.
Oh, okay.
So it almost seems like this used to be.
It could have been.
And
there's almost like a shield effect at the top.
Yep. Yeah.
Is it also?
I don't know what that means. I always thought that I would have lots of time in the winter to do a lot of research.
Life is full.
But that never happens. So this little room is
they can hang up their
great
dresses.
Room because it's good for the brides and the bridesmaids, and because washer and dryer in case there's a laundry emergency. You never know.
Yeah.
And it gets a lot of perfume and hairspray and things. Yeah. So this is one modernized room. We have a modernized powder room.
So they can get duded up for the big event. Yeah.
And now we're circling around to the back part of the manor. And if you look down the stairs here, this is a staircase that goes to the kitchen. And this is where the servants would stay in this back part. It's pine wood floors, not the nice hardwood oak like is in the front part of the house, and there aren't transoms over the doors. It's much simpler back here.
Yes.
So these two rooms are for the guys to get ready.
Yeah, they can rough it.
They don't get any complaints. Nobody bothers them back here. They have their two little rooms. We also had someone that her grandparents lived in this house, and she'd come here as a small child, and she remembered this room and the bathroom being one room.
Oh.
So one bigger room that way. So I get little bits of history and things from
others.
So now we're ready to go.
Let's just take a quick gander. We're not missing anything, folks. The full access to our ear. Let's follow Nancy.
I'm going to take you up to the ballroom, which is very interesting how they would entertain on the third floor when it would take you through their private areas. But since the halls are so big, it really probably allowed them just to shut the doors and didn't have to send them through their bedrooms. But up here,
so imagine we're going up to a ballroom.
is a ballroom.
Nancy's wearing a beautiful dress.
Oh, I forgot your beautiful dress.
With your crinoline.
We could pretend.
Yes.
This just recently got a facelift. It used to be all of this yellow color, the whole thing.
Oh my goodness.
The ceiling was white, but all the walls were this yellow. So we are up here for more like photo settings. People want to come up and do photo shoots and things up here. We really can't use it for a lot of activity because people have to come up the stairs.
Yeah,
you know?
they'd have to be in good
So,
shape.
Yeah, might limit the people that would be able to come up.
But you can imagine there's a nice little world within this room.
I would love to, you know, if you had pictures or something of people up here entertaining, would be so great. Here's one little feature that in a closet downstairs, which I'm not going to take you to because it's our extras room, but we have these covers over the
chimney.
of the chimney vents, yeah. And they usually had a picture on them, but this one was already painted over, so I'm not sure what the picture was under it. But down in a closet downstairs is one that still is intact. And here again is this.
Is that shield and then the arch. Beautiful.
So now the cupola. Yeah, the photographers really like this room because you're up and in the trees, and the lighting is very, very nice in here. And once again, the old wall features of lighting.
And was this the original paper, or
This wasn't. No,
You
they
did
just
it?
did a really nice job. Here, I don't know if they can see that ripple in the glass.
Oh,
Yeah, that's.
I can
Whenever
see
you
it.
can see that, you know it's old original glass.
Can you see the ripple, guys? Neat.
Now, this is the area under the stairs that there were stories that there was a hiding place for the slaves. But as a child, I thought I remembered coming through, and it was someplace where you stood up, and it was really shallow, and seems to me like it was in there, but I don't know that that's the case, because when you look at the mantle on the windows, they're equal, and there isn't any more room. That's the outside wall, but there is a little latch door underneath the stairs here, so some people are saying that they could hide in there. But we probably will never know. It can't talk. I wish it could talk. Now, will it take care going up here?
Yes, will do.
All right, we're going up to the cupola.
We're climbing.
It's quite steep and narrow.
Don't you just love these windows, guys? It's great. Up we go. We're climbing like this is gonna be like the Statue of Liberty moment.
These cupolas in the old homes were really like their air conditioning. The heat would rise up to this level, then they would open up these windows and flush it out. And when you're doing a tour in the summer, you can tell how the temperature reduces as you go downstairs, and up here can get a little warm.
So you have the modern window with the porthole concept too.
Yeah, yeah. We had to have that in for ventilation when they redid the roofs.
Yeah.
They did that window as ventilation. I kind of wish they would have put it in another location because you can see it from the outside, but what are you going to do?
Yeah, so there are 4 circular windows up here that are kind of like a lighthouse.
A little bit. They say that if it were part of the Underground Railroad, that they would put symbols in the windows if it was a safe haven or not.
So
Like
you
a
see
star or
a
crescent moon, and there's a lot of research on what those symbols meant. And at one time, we thought that there were some of the symbols down in the basement, but I haven't gone down there. The basement is another story. It's a beautiful basement with big arched brick arches in it. It'd be fun for like a little bistro down there.
Oh, yeah.
We haven't gotten to that point. Photographers come up here and take pictures down on the ground, you know, looking down.
Trying to get the nice
It's
angle.
very fun.
Very cool. And down we go. I was like a lighthouse.
We opened the house up shortly after we took possession of it in 2008 to the public. And we had several octogenarians that were bound and determined to get up there to the cupola.
Oh, in their 80s and they were climbing.
They got up there and they all came down on their butts. We're going to get there one way or the other.
So they scooted down like
They scooted down.
like little kids.
Like a little kid.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. And down the stairs. Imagine we have
We're
our
gonna circle probably all the way
beautiful outfits on.
Oh, we do.
Beautiful outfits on.
We'll go down the kitchen stairs. Little curve here at the end.
Wow, look where we
So
are.
now, just for your orientation, the dining room is just off on that side. And it's a country-sized kitchen. Brickwork is all 1900 adjustment and changes to it. There are some original cupboards in it. That set of cupboards there are original. You can tell by the door handles. These and these are old original.
I love the color.
We just recently did that.
I like that color.
I think I did it over COVID. We're going to be redoing the floor too. This is part of old cover too, because here's the old tin.
Oh, yes.
Where they used to keep bread.
That's right.
I'm glad there was nothing in there when I opened it up. You never know what you're going to find.
That's true.
What else can I say about the kitchen? I think that we count the stove as one of the 7 fireplaces, and then there's a fireplace in the basement. So this would make the 6th fireplace, and then the one downstairs. The part that I really enjoy every time I come to work here is the thought of how many women passed over this threshold as they walk to their garden, to their laundry, to all the activities, maybe their outhouse, maybe their bathrooms. And you can just see the wear on this.
There's history right there, guys.
Yep, and sometimes when I stand on it, you get kind of a little thrill.
Oh, someone's asking, why is there a fireplace in the basement?
The basement was used as well. It's a really beautiful basement. It has, as I mentioned, brick arches that are probably this wide.
Wow.
And I don't know, they used it like a regular basement, but it's looks a little more modern. But the chimney and everything is down there. It doesn't look like these with a facade on them, but we did find a broken facade underneath this part of the house. So I don't know which fireplace that came from. It's in a room that's been finished. There's a finished room down there, and it's in that room. So they might have shifted out the old fireplace facade when they did that. We also think that the evidence that there was the tunnel that they talked about that went out to the lake in the train, the railroad tracks, that was covered with some paneling because that room is paneled. And we really didn't want to start tearing off the panel just to see if we could see where the tunnel was. My mother used to take painting classes here, and I'm guessing it was probably the early to late 50s. The Shanks, I think that's how you pronounce their name, owned the house at that time. And the painting classes were in the basement, and she remembers that Mr. Shank would go through the tunnel and go down to the lake. So that's something we know existed. And we probably could get some kind of detection to see, where there's a gap in the air or whatever that goes out. And someday maybe we'll be able to do that discovery. This back end part is a new add-on. That threshold that we just went over is the original exterior of the house. So this is all new construction. Sometime after 1910, I would imagine. There's a room back there where, for the couples, we keep all the things that people leave because, you get things for your wedding, vases and, I don't know, tablecloths and about anything, baskets, anything you can think of. And then what are you going to do with that after your wedding? So they leave it for the other couples. So that room has a lot of that in it. And then this bathroom is one of the bathrooms that a lot of the guests, when they're here for weddings, they use this bathroom.
Okay.
Okay, so ready to go outside?
Yes.
Okay.
Beautiful.
How's our time? Can we get into the barn?
We're good. We got 2 tens.
Okay. So the barn, as I had mentioned, was built in around 1910, and it was built from a black factory that was here in Cassadaga.
Mm-hmm.
And so its construction is black and beam.
Mm-hmm.
And I was told that there was one other barn that was similar to it in Chautauqua County with this black, but that no longer stands. So this one might be one of the only ones that's
This
still
barn
standing.
is history too, folks.
Oh, a lot of history.
Isn't this beautiful? Can you imagine having your wedding reception here? Oh, gorgeous.
So this used to be all dirt, this whole front part, and we put the staircase in. It used to be just this tiny little set of stairs that hugged that wall and went up to the upstairs, but I'll take you up there and show you the beam construction, which is really beautiful.
Really beautiful.
All of the big beams and things are all original construction in here. So that back room can be closed off with the wall with the trees can shut, so we have 2 different rooms in here.
Mm-hmm.
And that used to be by the carpenters, used as like a small engine repair shop. So that part had cement floor, but all the rest of this was dirt. And it was a barn that housed animals. All right, so we're going to go up the stairs.
Got some more stairs, folks. Here we go. I love all the white lights.
Yeah, I don't know how you can get the view, but going up into the ceiling is really cathedral-like.
I'll give them that view too, absolutely.
You look at some of those crossboards, they're huge. Really, really, really huge boards.
I can see why people would choose to have this for their wedding.
Once the couple's decorated, it's magical. I mean, you could either leave it just like this and do barely anything, just decorate your tables, or some people go wild and crazy. One, I think it was a mom that had the vision. She draped all the chandeliers with, what's that kind of flower, the purple one? Wisteria. With wisteria draping down in moss, and then hung shears all around through all the beams. They had really high ladders. They really went all out.
She went to town, didn't she? That's beautiful.
The original front doors. We put in an overlay of the flooring. This is new flooring up here. And you might want to take a look at this structure that's in the middle. What this is the elevator for the original barn.
Oh.
This part, the floor underneath here drops down to the first floor, and they would load it with supplies and equipment and machinery. And then the motor is back here under this section.
There's a motor back here.
That would run the pulling up on pulleys of that whole floor. We boxed it in because
safety.
It was,
and you're not using it for that purpose.
We did use it for the first many years, but then Steve kept getting less and less confident in the motor.
Sure.
And he certainly didn't want, not for people. We never had people on it. He would bring tables and chairs up and down. And so we no longer do that anymore.
Yes. Makes sense.
Then I'll take you back into, this used to be the hayloft back down here. And this section was about ready for being demolished when we took possession. it was in very, very bad shape. We couldn't even walk in here safely to look at the structure. But we found that both sides, the footers were deteriorating, and you probably can't catch it because our curtains are there, but the footers were deteriorating, so those sections of this back piece were starting to collapse in. So we just cut them both off. And then this part of the structure is nice and stable. It's really my favorite part of the barn. It has these wonderful, huge barn doors that you can see up into the woods. And you'll see we have our curtains down that.
Yeah.
Kind of helps with rain and cold. The last wedding that was here, I don't know if you remember last Saturday, but it was very, very cold. And rainy. So we had the curtains down, but many times those curtains are up, and this is open air.
And then in terms of this, you do the wedding events from what month to what month?
May through October. So we're done for this year. And we don't go too early. Steve always discourages early in May and late in October just because it's not heated. The barn isn't heated.
Right.
We can
take your chances.
Do little space heaters, and it takes the chill off. Right, but it doesn't. We used to do our Cassadaga Lakes Association barn dance on Halloween weekend, but 3 years in a row it was so rainy, icky, rotten that we decided we'd move it up earlier into the summer and have our barn dances then. I'm looking around to see if I can see really close where some pegs are.
Oh, the peg that you had shown us in the house. Yeah.
I know that.
And then you're going to be having to winterize to some extent.
Yeah.
Right now. Yeah.
We close everything up. I was wondering if there was one on one of these closed beams. And I thought that there was, but I'll look as we go through to the main part too.
Isn't this gorgeous? Oh. Magical space.
So let's go around this side of the elevator, and we'll go down our new stairs.
Sounds good. I'll tell you, you can see people would have a lot of fun dancing and having fun in here.
Oh, yeah,
very joyful.
It does really end up magical for people in there when you get the decorating style of the bride and groom, and it's a wonderful business to have.
Well, maybe
people
while we're
being
up
so
here,
happy.
I should show the grounds because it'll show a little bit better from up here.
Our grounds
too.
go way up into that field, up to where the heavy woods are, and Steve mows a maze up in there. And when the goldenrod is in beautiful bloom, it's really a wonderful place to take photos on the grounds.
And here is another view of the house from behind. That it's Manzer for the roof.
Manzer style roofing. And this front chimney that you see off to the right, when they were doing the restoration, they said that was really held together by the paint that was on it. So they re-cemented it, and it could have taken just a good strong wind. It might have
and what kind of shingles are those?
So we saved it just in time. They're actually just like a tar, regular shingle, but the style is one that fit in. The original was tin, and it was perpendicular. And I hated to go over the top of the tin, but the tin was pitted, and we were getting all kinds of leaks down into the rooms.
Oh no!
And a lot of damage was being done in the walls, so we knew we had to do some replacement. But the person that worked with us had this type of the shingles, and I think it fit in pretty nicely.
I think so too.
It looks like it's slate, right?
I don't know. It's just really beautiful, and it's almost reminds you of one of those Walt Disney manors, country manors.
So on the grounds, we typically have weddings back there in the cedar grove, and we have beautiful, beautiful old trees. We used to have two wonderful, when we first took possession, great big maple trees here in the center. Monstrous, wonderful shade trees. They were both very old and needed to be taken out. So we put in that two rows of French lilacs, and so a lot of the couples use that as their aisle that they.
Oh,
that
so they go
out the door.
So they go out
room.
this kind of backside door over here.
Yeah, you'll see the porch there.
Oh, you can hear the walnuts are falling off the tree. If you're wondering, what's that sound sometimes? It's the walnuts are...
Yeah, they come down, then they go down through the aisle, and a lot of times they might have their wedding out in Cedar Grove, or those Pinky Winkies that are there sometimes are used as a backdrop.
Pinky Winkies.
This garden here has a lot of spirea and color in it during the different seasons, and sometimes people use that as their backdrop. Some people have even taken the fire pit and taken the ring out and used the platform, the seating as a platform, and had their guests sit this way with them looking out over the grounds.
What size events do you usually host here then? How many people?
We can go up to as many as 200. If we had wall-to-wall tables upstairs, we could go as high as 250, but it would be solid.
Too tight,
so
yeah.
we like to stop it at 200. Typically, they're somewhere between 120 and 150.
And that's for the barn, but in the house?
The house, depending on if you have a sit-down or like hors d'oeuvre, it could be no more than like 35 people. And because the rooms are kind of broken up, so if it's a drop-in kind of casual flow thing, it would work well for that. We do have murder mysteries here, and we have 8 people that come to that, and that works out really well. We haven't done one in a while, but my sister Cindy and I have had a really fun time doing murder mysteries. She's the creative artist in the coming up with the murders and the characters and things, and Steve and I are the butler and the maid. So I think that I've about covered everything.
Yes. What a lovely, lovely tour. We really do appreciate you sharing this very special place with us. It truly is a gem, as so many people have been tuning in live today, and if you're catching us on the replay, this is such a delicious house, I have to say, and the barn is just gorgeous.
Thank you.
And if you've ever been curious about this red house in Cassadaga that's really close to Lilydale, this is your opportunity to really enjoy and savor the rooms and the essence that is very present here.
And it is, we almost don't feel like owners, we're caretakers, because it's such a special place, and having it as a wedding venue, and now we also do Airbnb, it lets so many people enjoy it in a happy time.
Yes.
And so we feel very privileged to be able to do what we can do with it.
Well, thank you for all of your work that you do, both at this location and throughout Cassadaga.
You're welcome.
In this community.
My pleasure.
Yeah, we really appreciated the tour. Let Nancy know that you really enjoyed the tour today. Leave a sweet comment for her, so we can go back through and look at those. And,
Thank you.
And we really appreciate it so very much. We'll see you next week on Wednesdays with Willa. I'll have another great show. So like, share, follow, so you can get more wonderful events. All right, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.